It is so fun, like I said, to see you rolling in. I'm so impressed that so many of you have showed up on a Saturday, and some of you it's Saturday very early in the morning. Some of you it's Saturday very late at night. So, or anywhere in between. So, whoever you are and wherever you're tuning in from, I'm so happy to have you here. I'm going to officially get started. Okay, so hi everybody, welcome officially to the What Lights Up Your Pup workshop. I'm so excited that you're here, and your puppy is one lucky puppy. In this workshop, I'm going to share with you knowledge and practical strategies that will help you to better understand your dog's needs and behaviors so that you can enrich their life and yours too. And be sure to stay with me until the end, because if you do and you decide that you'd like to continue learning from me, and I'll be sharing a really cool way for you to do that later on, then you'll get to access a special bonus. So if you do stay until the end, I will give all those details later on in the workshop. All right, so like I said, it is so much fun to connect with you all in real time from all over the world. It's so cool that so many of you are here from all over the place. I am so happy that you're here taking time out of your day to learn how to be a better dog guardian, and that makes you my kind of person. So I'm so happy to connect with you. Even if it's in this kind of weird virtual way, it still feels pretty cool. So you all chose to be here for a variety of individualized reasons, of course. But my guess is that you likely decided to join this workshop today because of one of these main reasons. Maybe you're here because you're new to the concept of canine enrichment and you're looking for some fun and straightforward ways to get started with it. Or maybe you are feeling a little bit frustrated or overwhelmed with your dog's behaviors and you're looking for some ways to make some positive changes. Or maybe you are already pretty involved in the world of canine enrichment and you're just looking for some fresh ways to make your dog's life even more fulfilling. So which one of these resonates the most with you? I'd love if you let me know in the chat window. Are you number 1, new to enrichment and want to learn how to get started? Number 2, feeling frustrated and looking to improve your dog's behaviors? Number 3, looking for fresh ways to make your dog's life more fulfilling? Or a little bit of one, maybe you're more than one of those 3. Awesome. So like I said, when I look down here, I'm looking at the chat. This is where I can see the chat. Oh, wow. So many of you are responding. So cool. Awesome. We got some 2s, 3s, 1s, 3 predominantly, but also 2. I like that's very specific. 2 and 3, 3, 2 and 3. Awesome. Ooh, someone doesn't even have a puppy yet and they're preparing. Very cool. Way to get ahead of the game. Awesome. Okay, thank you guys so much for sharing. Well, however you decided to come to the idea to show up today, to register and then actually show up, no matter why you're here, I just want to let you know that you are in the right place and you are going to get something out of this next hour, I promise you. Okay, let's get into it. So I want to start by really briefly just sharing a little bit about myself so you have a better idea of who you're about to share the next hour of your life with. I have lived in Sweden for, well, first of all, I'm Kelly. Hopefully you already know that. I'm Kelly and I am the founder of Every Dog Training. I've lived in Sweden for the past 6 years or so, and I'm originally from Jamestown, New York. Here is a photo of my husband, Aaron, and I a few years back from our Stockholm City Hall wedding. We got married twice, once in Stockholm and once in Portland, Maine. And we share our lives with these two little angels, Harriet, a 4-year-old ragdoll cat, and Rosie, an Irish setter who's almost 2 years old now, which is pretty crazy. So here are some far less cute, but admittedly more important images. I hold 2 dog trainer certifications, one from Hundsteg, which is a Swedish positive reinforcement dog instructor program, and one from Absolute Dogs, which is a game-based dog instructor program. I'm also a member of Sveriges Hundföretagare and the Pet Professional Guild, which are both organizations for positive reinforcement and force-free dog professionals. So those are all those credentials for you. And I'm offering this workshop and the additional learning opportunity I'll be sharing about later because I really wanted to take my experiences with my own dog training students, my background in education, art, and design, and my firsthand experiences working with my own rambunctious dog and sort of package it all up in a way that would help as many people as possible. So people like you. And as a dog trainer and as a dog parent, I have seen time and time again that implementing enrichment strategies that are right for your dog's individual needs is a single most powerful way to improve their quality of life and take the first steps towards positive behavior change. So this workshop is all about setting you up to do just that. Okay, so if you're anything like me, you feel a lot better knowing where you're going at all times. So here's a quick little roadmap of where we will be getting into during our time together so you know what to expect. First, you'll learn 6 core behaviors that dogs have a natural drive to perform in order to feel fulfilled. Then you'll learn 3 strategies to determine which core behaviors are strongest for your dog. And then you will learn 3 simple steps to select the best enrichment activities for your dog and their individual needs. And then if you would like to continue working with me and you like what you learn here, then I will tell you all about a very brand new, exciting program that I just launched where you can do just that. And then at the end, we're going to do a live Q&A. So save up your questions because I'm going to get to as many of you as I can at the very end. And just a quick note there, it's a good idea if you have a question that pops up into your head, maybe have a notepad nearby that you can write on or whatever, use your phone if you're tech savvy. But if you type something in while I'm talking, I probably won't see it. So wait until the Q&A section to actually ask questions. Otherwise, I will miss the questions as they come in. Okay. Cool. So we are going to start by talking about 6 core behaviors that most dogs need to perform in order to feel fulfilled. So the concept of enrichment is all about providing your dog with opportunities to fulfill their natural needs and drives. And in order to fulfill your dog's drives, you first need to know what those drives are, right? So that's what we're going to talk about here. First up, we've got sniffing. And it's probably not new to you that sniffing is a hugely important behavior for dogs. And that's because your dog's sense of smell is the most important way that they experience their world. It's how they gather information and identify and remember places, people, and other animals. And one of the most beautiful ways that I've heard a dog's sense of smell described is by author and cognitive scientist Alexandra Horowitz. She says, the most amazing thing about your dog's nose is that it can traverse time. The past appears in tracks left by passersby and by the warmth of a recently parked car with the residue of where you've been and what you've done recently. Landmarks like fire hydrants and trees are aromatic bulletin boards carrying messages of who's been by and where and what they've been eating and how they're feeling. And the future is in the breeze, alerting them to something or someone approaching long before you see them. Where we see and hear something at a single moment, a dog smells an entire story from start to finish. And I just really love that quote. I think that's such a beautiful way to think about our dog's sense of smell. And I try to remember bits and pieces of that quote whenever I get a little bit annoyed, a little impatient, and I might try to be tempted to rush my dog along as she's sniffing. I try to remember this quote. I just saw a question in the chat here that says, should we be taking pics of the slides or will you be emailing later? I will be sending out a replay of this to everyone who's signed up for the workshop. I'll be sending out a replay tomorrow, but it is going to be a limited time access replay, so you only have access to it until Monday. So if you'd like to take notes or take pictures, feel free. Okay, so that's sniffing. On to our second core behavioral drive, foraging. So you may have noticed your dog's foraging drive in action already. You probably have. Foraging, also called scavenging, involves searching for food. And dogs have historically accessed most of their food through foraging. So this behavioral drive is still very much present in our domesticated dogs. And in your domesticated dogs, you might notice this drive when they're seeking out things to eat when you're on walks, or maybe they've learned how to open up the cabinet where the treats are stored. And research has shown that most animals actually enjoy the process of searching for food and obtaining their food. This is a phenomenon called contra-freeloading. It means that given the choice to work for their food or to have it given to them in a bowl, most animals, including dogs, will choose the work over just getting their food handed to them. So that is foraging. Our next core behavioral drive is dissecting. Shredding and pulling apart items is one of those things that's often viewed as a problem behavior, but it's actually just yet another very important natural dog behavior, a natural drive. And this drive comes from the way in which dogs have historically accessed and eaten their food through removing skin, fur, and feathers so that the muscles and organs can be gotten to and can be consumed. So that's a lovely mental picture, of course, but that is why a lot of dogs are driven to dissect and pull things apart. Now, some dogs are more driven to dissect than others. Some will happily get to work removing the ears of a new toy within moments that you give it to them, but others might be a little bit more selective about what they choose to shred. Maybe they don't destroy toys, but they will destroy paper or cardboard. So that is a little bit about dissecting. Next, we're going to go on to hunting and chasing. Most dogs have a very strong drive to chase and hunt, and this is also known as prey drive. And this comes from, again, their feeding behavior throughout history, how they've gotten their food. And it also comes from the behaviors that they have been developed for as hunting companions throughout the centuries. The act of chasing is incredibly reinforcing for most dogs. And even if they don't catch whatever they're after, the feeling that they get from the chase itself is extremely fulfilling. And this drive is observable maybe when your dog sees a squirrel or a bird and suddenly goes into full chase mode, or if you have a dog who loves to play with balls or to play fetch, and we'll get more into that later. But those are some times when maybe you're noticing the hunting and chase drive, which is another very natural drive that most dogs have a natural need to fulfill. Okay, next we've got problem solving. Problem solving is another huge one. This is also sometimes called mental activation or cognitive enrichment. And it's what a lot of people think of first when they hear the word enrichment. And it's a very important one, but it's actually only one of many types of enrichment. Problem solving is crucial for maintaining your dog's mental and emotional health. And it's also great for growing their confidence and independence. As they learn that they can actually overcome a problem, they're developing a lot of confidence and independence in the process, and that's a really great thing as well. And the drive to problem solve comes from our dog's recent past when their survival was dependent on their ability to solve problems. And even though your dog might not depend on their ability to problem solve for physical survival anymore, at least I hope not, being able to do it is still a very important part of your dog's well-being. Okay, lastly, we've got socializing with humans. So spending time with people is absolutely essential for a dog's well-being, as you probably already know. Dogs have developed into who they are as a species based largely on their codependence and relationships with humans. The amount and type of human interaction, though, should always be adapted to suit the individual dog. Some dogs are extremely driven to interact with all types of people and strangers, known and unknown, like my dog, for example. But for others, just spending time with one or two trusted and known humans is what makes them feel most fulfilled. Okay. So here are all 6 core behaviors that we just covered. We've got sniffing, foraging, dissecting, hunting and chasing, problem solving, and socializing with humans. Now keep in mind that these are just a few examples, not a full list. Your dog might really need to fulfill all 6 of these behaviors on a regular basis, or maybe your dog only is interested in a couple of them. And then you can also probably think of a lot of additional behaviors that your dog is driven to perform. Now, I'm going to take a pause right here to drink some water, and you can take a picture of the screen if you're interested. So again, those are 6 core behaviors. And now we're going to move on to the next section of our workshop. We've learned about 6 core behaviors, and now we're going to talk about 3 strategies to determine which core behaviors are strongest for your individual dog. So every dog has different drives and needs. So how do you know which behaviors are most important for your own dog? The first way to figure out which drives are strongest for your dog is to consider the history and background of your dog's breed or mix of breeds. Each breed was originally developed by humans for a specific purpose. So what was your dog's breed developed to do? If you're not sure, take a minute to Google the history of your dog's breed or mix of breeds if you know the mixture. What was their original purpose or job? A few breed-specific drives include retrieving, digging, hunting, herding, tracking, running, guarding, pulling, and swimming. But assuming your dog is not an active working dog, some of these drives are easier to find an outlet for than others. Tracking and swimming, for example, can relatively easily be integrated into your training and recreation time. But for drives that are more like herding and hunting, unless you actually have the opportunity to train those specific activities, then you might need to get a little bit more creative. Perhaps you'll instead need to redirect this drive into a more readily available or appropriate outlet that fills a similar but not identical need. Okay, so now's time that I would love some input from you guys. What are some behaviors or traits that your dog's breed or mixture of breeds was developed for? Go ahead and share in the chat window if you know your dog's breed or mix, and if you know what they have been developed for. Amazing. We've got herding, rodent hunting, stalking, and chasing. Working on a fishing boat, retrieving, companionship, sniffing, guarding, and herding. Awesome. I love that you guys already know this. I think that's really important information to know about your dog before you bring them home, what they were bred for. A Staffy, yeah, bred for digging, hunting, herding, couple of different types of herders, a border collie and a cattle dog mix. Cool. Okay. Awesome. Thank you guys for sharing. Okay. So keep those in mind because you're going to want to, we'll be coming back to that later. Okay, so that was the first way to figure out which of your dog's drives are most important. The second way is to take note of the things that your dog loves to do. If your dog had complete freedom and endless confidence to do whatever they wanted to do, what would it be? Take note of what really lights them up, what really makes them happy. Now, this one is really important because although your dog's breed or breeds does have an effect on their behavior and drives, if you focus on that alone, then you run the risk of overgeneralizing or making assumptions about your dog's interests and drives. Because even among a group of littermates, the dogs might all be siblings and have a lot of similarities, but they all have their own personalities and individual interests. And then, of course, with mixed breeds, then this one is extra important because it might be kind of tricky to figure out what they were bred for. So consider this question. What does your dog already love to do? What makes them happier than anything else? Observe the activities and behaviors that they choose to do when given the freedom to do so, and observe how they interact with their surroundings, both at home and outside. Try out a variety of enrichment activities and take note of which ones your dog engages with most enthusiastically and which ones they're just kind of like, meh. That's a great way to figure out, okay, this is the type of activity that my dog loves, and you can think about how to expand on that type of activity. Okay, I want to hear from you guys again. What is something that really lights up your pup? What makes them happier than anything else? So for me, one of the biggest things for Rosie is carrying pine cones and tossing them up in the air and chasing them. I don't think that she's ever happier than when she's playing with pine cones. So that's very specific, but that's something that my dog loves. What about you? We've got chasing squirrels, playing with other dogs, and playing fetch. Running, sniffing, foraging, chewing, chasing, love it. Running in and out of the water, foraging, sniffing. Does trying to chase squirrels and cats count? Yes, it does. If it really lights them up, then it for sure counts. Another fetch for hours, chasing balls, birds, and rabbits, tearing apart toys, playing fetch, carrying sticks, paddling in the water. Oh, I love all these. It makes me so happy to imagine all of your dogs doing these activities that make them so happy. I love it. Chewing bones, love swimming. Cool. Awesome. Okay, thank you guys so much for sharing. Okay, we are going to move on to the third way to determine your dog's most important behavioral needs, which is to reframe your current behavioral challenges. So, are there some behaviors that your dog does that you find a little bit frustrating or challenging? I'm guessing the answer is yes. Otherwise, I would be concerned about your dog's health, to be honest, if nothing that they did annoyed you a little bit. So, think about this question. Are there some things that are a little bit frustrating or challenging? Maybe pulling the leash, chasing wildlife, barking at the window, eating garbage in the park are a few examples I've come across in my time. So some of the most common behavior problems that we as humans see as less than desirable are actually just dogs seeking an outlet for a natural behavior that is not being sufficiently fulfilled. So they have this drive, they don't have any positive outlets for it, so they're finding outlets for it on their own. Now, of course, this is not true for all behavior concerns. Behaviors that are based in fear, anxiety, or aggression, for example, are a lot more complex, and they, as a result, require a more complex behavior solution or behavior modification plan. So if that's you, then don't hesitate to reach out to a professional force-free dog trainer for help, because enrichment is not just going to fix all problems, but it does a lot of really common behavior problems can be hugely improved with the right enrichment plan. Okay, so what are some behavior struggles that you're encountering right now? What are some challenging things that your dog is getting up to these days? Okay, so we've got pulling, chasing wildlife, barking out the window, picking mulch, sticks, oh, that one went away, and stones to bring and hide in her bed. That's funny. Barking. Yep, barking is a big one. Recall when other dogs are around. Yep. Chasing wildlife, eating poop. Yeah, that's unfortunate, especially when it's human poop. That is just nasty. Oh, I feel you guys. These ones do not make me as happy as the last ones you shared, but they are important to consider, and I know very real parts of your life. So thank you for sharing. Okay, save those ideas, because I think that the next thing that we cover is going to help you with that reframing of those behavior struggles. So we're going to move on to 3 steps to select the best enrichment activities for your dog and their needs. So how do you know which enrichment strategies you should offer your dog? Here's where what we just covered in the first 2 sections really comes together, and you'll hopefully come away with some real life and actionable ideas. Okay, so here are those 3 steps I promised you. Number 1, start with a specific behavior. Number 2, connect it to a behavioral drive. And number 3, provide an outlet with enrichment. Sounds simple, right? Don't worry, we will put these steps into action with some specific examples in just a second. I'm just going to take a quick water break. Really, when you just talk for 30 minutes straight, you get really thirsty, turns out. Okay. So we learned earlier that one of the ways of determining your dog's behavioral needs was to consider your dog's breed. So let's start there. What was your dog's breed developed to do? Now, we are going to take a breed like a Jack Russell or Yorkshire Terrier, for example, here. One of the main things they were developed for is to hunt rodents like rats. So we're going to write hunting rodents in this section. That is the specific behavior that we're starting with. So now we're going to move on to step number 2. Does the behavior fall under one or more core behaviors? Definitely hunting and chasing, right? So we have taken our specific behavior that our dog was bred to do, connected it to a behavioral drive, hunting and chasing. And the next, number 3, is provide an outlet with enrichment. So what are some ways that you can encourage your dog to meet this need and provide them with an outlet using enrichment strategies? Here are just a few ideas. You can use a flirt pole, which, if you're not familiar with it, it's basically like a giant cat toy for dogs. It's a big pole with a rope or string hanging down, and then a toy attached to the string that you can wave around, kind of like a fishing pole. And dogs love flirt poles, especially dogs with high prey drives, dogs who are like those terriers who are bred to hunt. And playing with a flirt pole can really effectively tap into this hunting and chasing drive. You can make your own flirt poles pretty easily if you just Google DIY flirt pole. And then some pet stores are also starting to sell them. Another idea is to play fetch. Fetch is one of those things that can really rev up some dogs to a level of stress that's not so healthy, though. So just make sure to help your dog regulate their excitement levels. If your dog is one of those dogs that is just an obsessive fetch player, then that's a great outlet for them, but just make sure you're only playing for certain lengths of time and giving them plenty of chances to disengage and calm down. And Catch Me If You Can is another really fun game that pretty much involves running away from your dog and then eventually letting your dog catch you. And it's a really great way to tap into their desire to chase. And it's also a great game to add on to your recall training. Instead of standing still and just calling your dog, come, you can call them and run away from them. And in this way, you are giving like double reinforcement. They are getting reinforced as soon as they start chasing you because they love chasing you. And then once they get to you, you should feed them lots of delicious treats. So this is obviously a topic for another workshop, recall, but just think about how you can integrate this game into your recall practice. And it is seriously going to change your dog's recall ability if your dog loves to chase. Okay. So we're going to move on to another specific behavior so that we're going to have 3 specific behaviors, just so you know. That's number 1. The next one is we're going to think about what does your dog love to do. So remember that was a second way to determine your dog's drives, what types of activities or behaviors light them up. So what does your dog love to do? So we're going to take ripping sticks apart as an example here. Or really ripping anything apart would work fine here. Any kind of destructive behavior. The behavioral drive that this behavior falls under is, of course, dissecting. And it could also be a little bit of chewing and gnawing maybe, but we're going to focus on dissecting here. Okay, your turn. Get in the chat box and let me know what are some ways that you could use enrichment to provide an outlet for dogs who love to dissect and rip things apart. What are some things that you could give your dog to tap into this outlet? You guys are fast typers. Shredding toilet paper rolls, treats and toilet rolls, cardboard boxes, love it. Yes, cardboard, paper bags. That's one of my favorites. One of my favorite ways to feed my pup in cardboard and paper. If your dog does have the tendency to eat paper or cardboard, there are other options as well that I think I have in the examples here. We'll get into in a second. But I love the destroying cardboard and paper. I think it lives up to the hype for sure. Sometimes at a restaurant, we give her a paper napkin and she's happy for quite some time. I love that. Awesome. Yeah, treats in an old sock. Love it. Then I think I've done that before for sure. I have lots of old socks, and you can put delicious things inside a sock and let your dog rip that apart. A little cheaper than ripping apart a new toy. Awesome. Thanks for sharing, you guys. Okay, so here are a couple ideas that I came up with, but yours are way better. Food inside a paper bag, like many of you already said. You can also use an old towel and roll some food or maybe even a chew stick inside the towel. And if your dog can handle the challenge, you can roll it up and then even loosely tie it. And then your dog can work on kind of pulling the towel apart or untying it so that they can access the food or the chew inside. Of course, with any of these types of activities, make sure you're supervising your dog because we don't want them actually ingesting any towels or paper. But most dogs, the dissection is what they're going for. They're not actually trying to consume the fabric or the paper. Awesome. Okay. All right, the third way to figure out what your dog's needs are is to ask, what is a current behavior struggle? So I chose one from my own current situation, whining in the evenings. Recently, Rosie has been acting a little bit restless in the evenings when we're just trying to relax on the sofa, and she'll just kind of stand there whining at us. And it's really hard to know what she wants because like 50% of the time she's just communicating to us that one of us is in her spot that she has decided is hers at that moment and she wants us to move. And if we move, then she'll get up and she'll be just fine. But other times she's definitely looking for something else. There's some kind of behavioral drive that she needs scratched. So of course, whining can mean a lot of different things, depending on your dog, depending on the context. It can mean lots of things. But in this particular case with Rosie, I think it usually means that she's in need of some active socialization time with us and perhaps combined with some mental activation. So just hanging out on the sofa with us, she's bored with that and she needs something else. And this is a very common behavior that happens in the evenings with dogs. And it's tricky because in the evenings, as humans, we just feel like relaxing, right? We've worked all day. Maybe we've given our dog a nice long walk before dinner, and we just want to relax. And we're wondering, like, why can't you just lay down and relax with me, dog? Why are you whining? But the thing is, most dogs are actually, what's the word? There's a special word for it. It is not nocturnal, but it means that they're most active in the early morning and the evening. I can't remember what it's called. Oh, thank you. Crepuscular? Is that really what it's called, Brian? Yeah, okay. I trust you. So yeah, basically dogs are naturally more active at dawn and dusk. So it can really help to have some ideas up your sleeve for when this behavior pops up, to be able to give your dog an outlet. Even though maybe you're tired on the couch, there's probably some pretty simple things you could do for maybe 10 or 15 minutes to help give your dog an outlet for a need that they are feeling, and then you can go back to relaxing on the couch. So I want to hear from you guys again. If your dog was staring at you and whining at 7 p.m., and you knew that their basic needs like food, water, and bathroom break had been met, what are some things that you would do? Or maybe this has happened to you and you have done these things with success. So share some ideas in the box. What would you do? A training session, awesome. Yeah, a lot of the time, just a quick, fun training sessions, a mental activation is all you need. Play fetch, tug, a treat search, one of my favorites. I love it. Playing, yeah, just kind of getting down on the floor and playing a find it game, hiding food, hiding toys, practicing tricks and treats. Yeah, light play, nothing to get her riled up, but some interaction. Love it. training and play, and then settling, snuffle mats. You guys are pros. Awesome. Going on a walk, a sniffy walk. Yeah. Awesome. Really good ideas. Okay. So yeah, I came up with very similar ideas to you guys. Here are a few things that have worked in this context for us, depending on the situation. Sometimes one of these works better than others. Sometimes just a quick training session or getting down on the floor and playing, or sometimes just some really like focused massage really helps Rosie. Like just getting her ears rubbed will help kind of get her in the calm mood again, and that can help. Or hiding a toy to find anything that gets her searching is a great way to redirect that energy. Okay, cool. So those are the 3 steps to choosing a well-suited enrichment activity for your dog. If your dog has a strong drive to do something that we haven't covered here, then you're really going to be interested in joining me for the program that I just launched, and I'll be talking about it in just a few minutes, because we just covered 3 drives just now, and then 6 core behavioral drives back at the beginning. But in the program that I have just launched, we will be covering 16 drives with specific outlets for each drive and demos for how to meet those drives. So if you feel like, oh, this is great, these are great ideas, but they don't apply to me, or I can think of a million other things that my dog does, but I don't know how to give them an outlet for it, then I think you're going to want to stay tuned to find out about the next the next learning opportunity I'm going to share with you. Okay, so let's recap. Now you know 6 core behaviors that dogs have a natural drive to perform in order to feel fulfilled. You know 3 strategies to determine which core behaviors are strongest for your dog. And 3 simple steps to select the best enrichment strategies for your dog and their individual needs. And I really hope that this workshop has given you some useful insight and practical solutions that you can put to work right away with your own dog. But like I just said, you probably still have some questions and some things that you're wondering about, because enrichment is a pretty big topic. And that brings us to the next part of our workshop. By now, I hope that you can see that this enrichment thing 100% lives up to the hype. And I fully believe that enrichment has the power to change your dog's life and yours for the better. So now I have a question for you. What if you knew exactly how to identify your dog's needs and had the support and structure to make an enrichment routine actually function in your real life? Not just on paper, not just in theory, but in practice. That's kind of the dream, right? So at this point, you've got 2 options. You can continue on as normal, piecing together enrichment ideas from random social media accounts and info from your dog's needs on Google. Or you could be guided by a step-by-step framework and a supportive community so that you can truly fulfill your dog's needs in a straightforward and meaningful way. And if this second option sounds a little bit appealing to you, then I've got some exciting news to share with you. I have just launched a brand new online course called Everyday Enrichment. And in this online course, students will learn how to integrate enrichment strategies into their daily routines to grow their dog's calmness, confidence, and independence so that they can live their best life together with their dog. Here is an overview of what you will get in the course. You'll get a deeper understanding of your dog's drives and behaviors, a huge library of specific enrichment strategies with step-by-step video demos. So if I was describing any enrichment ideas to you earlier and you were like, I don't really know what any of that means, then you're going to really like this, because there are a lot of video demos in this course, as well as step-by-step written guides. You'll also get a simple way to choose the best enrichment strategies based on your dog and your lifestyle, based on a lot of the info we covered just now, but with even more detail. You'll get worksheets and templates so that you can take your new knowledge and then make an actionable and practical plan. And you'll get support, connection, and inspiration from a community of like-minded dog guardians. The course is organized into 5 modules. So in module 1, the fundamentals, you will learn what enrichment is, why it's crucial to animal welfare, and the specific ways that it benefits your dog. And then in modules 2, 3, and 4, you'll learn about those 16 core behaviors. So again, we just covered 6 in this brief workshop. In the course, you'll learn about 16 core behaviors, and you'll learn specific ways to give your dog outlets for those behaviors with video demos. And those core behaviors, some are geared more towards calming and independent behaviors. So when your dog is, you feel like they need an enrichment outlet that helps them to feel more settled and grow some independence, you'll have 7 calming and independent behavioral needs in that first module there. And in modules 3 and 4, we'll get into more activating and social core behavioral needs. And then in module 5, we will get super practical. This is the practical implementation module. You will learn how to choose the right activity for your dog, and then how to fit enrichment into your real life routine. You'll get lots of worksheets and templates to help you through that practical implementation process. So the full course includes those 5 modules I just went over, with 26 on-demand video lessons. So that means that you can go back to the videos as many times as you want, and you can watch them on your own time. You'll also have 45 enrichment strategies demonstrated in practical videos, short, concise little videos that show you how to do these 45 strategies. You'll get 6 downloadable worksheets, templates, and guides, and then 3 weeks of scheduled enrichment plans, where I've actually planned out 3 weeks for you that you can either use directly, my ideas, or you can mix and match to suit your dog and your needs. You'll also get 60 plus curated enrichment strategies inside the enrichment library. So this is a guide that has more than 60 ideas for enrichment ideas. Okay. And I've got bonuses for you. I'm not done yet. So along with the full course, you will also get to join a supportive community with direct access to yours truly in a private Instagram group chat. I will be in the group chat for the first 3 weeks of your course membership. I will kickstart it and be involved in there daily for 3 weeks. And it's a great way to connect with me directly, and then also to connect with other students in the course. Okay, at this point, you might be thinking, this sounds really great, but if I'm too busy to give my dog enrichment activities, I'm definitely too busy to take a course about it. And I get it. But the thing is that I'm not extra special in any way. Even though that I'm a professional dog trainer, it doesn't mean that I have endless time and energy and resources to devote to my dog's enrichment. I wish I did, but I don't. But what I do have is a practical roadmap that will make integrating enrichment into your life easier and more impactful, no matter your dog or your lifestyle. Okay, so bonus number 1 is that supportive community inside our Instagram private group. Bonus number 2 is a downloadable or 5 downloadable PDF guides for my favorite training games. Those include the name game, funder, check-in game, boundary game, and the hand target. So these are step-by-step guides for how I teach dogs and how I teach people to teach their dogs these 5 training games. And I think these are really important because as we talked about, dogs love to problem solve and learn new things and play around and train with their people. So in addition to the core enrichment, everyday enrichment course, you will also get these training games to supplement your training together. And if you choose to enroll, you will also be backed by a risk-free 14-day guarantee. This means that if you give it a shot, but you still, after 14 days, feel like it's just not the right fit for you, then all you need to do is reach out, answer a couple of questions, and I will refund your investment. Okay, so we have got the supportive community. We've got the training guides, and I have, last but not least, one additional bonus, which is customizable Canva templates. So if you're like me and you do not own a printer, these are really going to come in handy. All you have to do is make a Canva account for yourself, which is free. If you're not familiar with Canva, it's just a website that you can go to design different things. It's where I make most of my design work. So as a bonus in this course, you'll get access to all of the templates that I have put together for the supplemental PDFs. So that means that you can actually go into the templates and edit them on Canva yourself without actually having to print anything. So for the worksheets and the weekly enrichment planner that you see on the screen there, you'll be able to edit them on your computer using Canva instead of printing them off if you're not able to print. Okay. So we have got, in summary, we've got the full course, which includes 5 modules, video lessons, enrichment and activity demos, worksheets, and all of that good stuff I just mentioned. All of that is a value of $197. Then we've got the bonus, a supportive community inside that Instagram chat, which is a value of $67. And bonus number 2, the training game guides, which is a value of $27. And bonus number 3, which is customizable Canva templates, which is a value of $37. Can you tell that I like the number 7? Okay, all of this adds up to $328 in value. So at this point, you're probably thinking, okay, Kelly, stop telling us the value of things and just get to it, get to the point. How much is this course actually going to cost me? Because it sounds really great and I want to know how much it costs. So because I'm so obsessed with sharing the power of enrichment with as many people as I can, I really wanted to make sure that the price felt doable for as many people as possible. So that means that today you can join Everyday Enrichment for just $97. If you are already ready to go and ready to join me right now, all you have to do is go to this website, which I know is quite a lot to type in. So I'm going to copy and paste right now the link to the course page, which is now in the chat room. So you can go there right now if you'd like, or you can wait and continue listening to me if you'd like to find out more information about it. That website will tell you more info, and it's also where you can enroll. Now, the course is not quite open yet. It's going to open on Monday, and enrollment is only open until Monday, which means you've only got a couple more days to sign up. And then on Monday, enrollment will close, and that's when all of the students who have signed up will access the course. So you won't be able to access it immediately, but I do recommend signing up. If you are sure that you want to join me, then I do recommend signing up soon, because remember that special bonus I mentioned at the beginning of our workshop? That bonus is a fast action bonus. So this bonus is a live group coaching session with me. So if you decide to enroll in Everyday Enrichment while we're still here live during the workshop and then during the Q&A portion we're about to go into, then you will get to automatically be put on the list for this live group coaching session with me. So you'll get that fast action bonus. So if you're sure that you want to join, I would recommend going for it right now so that you can make sure you get that bonus. If you're still on the fence, totally understandable, think it over, but make sure that you do join us before Monday, because that is when the course is going to close for at least a few months. So it's a limited time enrollment. Okay. So here are those details again, and again, the link is also in the chat room. You can go ahead and click on that right now, check it out. And in case you're curious, here's what the enrollment process looks like. Once you click on the link that I just put in the chat, this is where you'll go. You'll just go to a page that looks like this. And then you just need to scroll down and click on the blue button that says, "Let's do this." And from there, you'll be asked to fill in a couple of details where you just need to make your student account. And if you've already taken a course with us, then you don't have to do this. You can just click on, "I already have an account." Otherwise, it just takes a minute or so to put in those details. And then the next page is where you actually complete your purchase. You can choose to pay with card or with PayPal. And then that's it. So then you'll be taken to this page, and it will say that you are enrolled in Everyday Enrichment, but that it's coming soon. So once again, you won't be able to access it yet, but you will get access to the course and all of the bonuses on Monday, April 12th. So that's just in a few days. And then in the meantime, just keep an eye on your inbox, because I'll be in touch via email before that, probably as early as tomorrow morning. Okay, here are those details once again. And great question, Beth. I'm going to answer that in a second. So before we get to the Q&A, I just want to take a moment to remind yourself why you chose to show up today. There's a million other things you could be doing, but you chose to come to this enrichment workshop. Maybe you're here because life with your dog sometimes feels hard and you're looking for ways to make it better. Maybe you're here because you're tired of searching for info about enrichment and dog behavior that's actually presented in a straightforward and realistic way, where you don't have to buy 1,000 Kongs in order to succeed. Or maybe you're here because you've got lots of knowledge, but you're not quite sure how to start when it comes to putting it in action with your own dog and in your real life. Or maybe you're here because you want to connect with other dog guardians who share your passion for learning and growth. And whatever your reason for being here, your dog's health and happiness is obviously very important to you, because you're here right now taking time out of your Saturday to learn how to make your dog's life be the amazing one that they deserve. And inside Everyday Enrichment, you will get to continue on that journey of finding knowledge and getting that support that you need. And with this course, along with the support of a community of other dog parents, you will learn how to make enrichment an easy and seamless part of your real life, everyday routine. So if you're ready to join me, go ahead and go to that webpage and sign up now. Remember, you get that fast action bonus if you sign up during our workshop, which will include the Q&A that we're about to dive into. So you've still got a little bit of time. And before we move into the Q&A portion, I just want to say that whether or not you choose to join me for the course, I really hope that you feel like you're walking away from this workshop with some clear, actionable ways that you can start improving the life that you share with your dog. That is the mission that I wake up with every single day. So thank you for being here with me today so that I could work towards that mission with you. So thank you for being here. And again, I really hope you feel like you're walking away with some tangible ideas that you can put into practice right away. Okay, guys, let's get into the Q&A. So go ahead and write in the chat box any questions that you have, whether it's about the material that we covered in the workshop, or if it's about the Everyday Enrichment course. It can be about either one. I will do my best to try to get to as many questions as I can. If I don't get to your question, I would love if you would send me a DM or an email and let me know and ask it again, and I will do my best to answer it there. But last workshop, I think I was able to get to most people's questions, so hopefully I can do that again here. So I am going to give you guys a little bit of time to come up with your questions and type them in. And I'm going to start with, I already see one question. How long do you have access for? That question is from Beth. And you get access to the full course forever. You get lifetime access, and you can even download all of the materials. You can download all of the PDF materials as soon as you join the course. And then after the 14-day refund period, you can even download the videos if you want. So you can have it all on your computer. And then you can also get into the course platform, which is Thinkific. You can get into that course platform indefinitely. So you can have it as long as you want and rewatch the videos as long as you want. Another question is, how long does it take to get through the course? Now, the video modules all together are about 2 hours of video. So it kind of depends on how quickly you'd like to watch them. I don't recommend sitting down and watching them for 2 hours straight. I think you'll get really tired of me. So I think it's a good idea to watch, to kind of pace yourself through it. And then, of course, it depends on how much time you put into the worksheets and the templates that are going to be guiding you through the practical implementation. Okay. Cool. So I've got a few questions. Are you available for a one-to-one session? This is more about fears around other dogs. Yes, I am. So if you're interested in one-to-one sessions with me, I do work both in person in Stockholm and virtually with clients all over the world. So if you're interested in that, just send me an email or a DM on Instagram, whatever is easier for you, and we can talk about that. Next question is, are the videos more informational or practical? That's a great question. They're both. So it kind of starts out very informational. Module 1 is very much like talking about what enrichment is, why it matters, just making sure that everyone, all the students have a really good foundational knowledge of what enrichment is and why dogs actually have the need for it. And then in modules 2 through 4, we talk a little bit about some knowledge about each core behavioral drive. For example, let's take chewing is one of the ones we'll talk about, chewing and gnawing. So I talk about why chewing and gnawing is important, some background behind why it matters, and then for each core behavioral drive, there are at least 3 practical, specific enrichment ideas for how to meet that drive. And I have video demos along with like text guides next to the videos that tell you the step-by-step instructions for how to do those enrichment strategies. So I hope that answers your question. Oh yeah, and then the last module is very practical. That's where you get all of the worksheets that guide you through how to actually put all of that knowledge into practice in your real life. So you'll have questions like thinking about your own daily schedules and weekly schedules, your dog's like energy levels and how they fluctuate, and how to fit enrichment into your dog's natural daily routines. So it gets pretty practical and individualized at that point. Hope that answers your question, Saba. Awesome. And Sandra, good. Thank you for coming, Sandra. Awesome. Okay. Now here's another question. What if I'm not a fan of Instagram? That is a great question. I know Instagram is not for everybody. You can still get a huge value from the course, even if you choose not to be in that community chat. So I get it. Group chats are also not for everyone, although I promise we won't be spamming you with random stuff. It will all be enrichment related. But yeah, if it's not for you, you can skip it and you will still get a huge amount of value from the course. Awesome. Okay, I'm taking a look and I see. Thank you. Welcome to the course, Claire. Claire has enrolled. Elizabeth, welcome to Everyday Enrichment. I don't know if you're still here, but welcome. And welcome Beth and Sam and Laurel. Awesome. Welcome to the course, you guys. I'm super excited for you to dive in. And like I said, keep an eye on your inboxes because I will be in touch in the next 24 hours or so. And then you'll get access to the course on Monday. So welcome, everybody. We're going to be wrapping up the Q&A pretty soon. So once again, if you're still on the fence, and thank you, Pranilla, for joining me. It was fun to have you here. So yeah, what was I just saying? Yeah, I'm going to come to the end of the Q&A. So this is your last chance to get that fast action bonus. Although I totally get it if you are the type of person like myself who you don't want to make impulse buys like this, and you want to take a few minutes to think about it. If you join in the next 20 minutes, even after I log off, then you will still get to have that fast action bonus. So if you join by 11:30 Eastern Standard Time, then you'll still get the fast action bonus. If you join after that, then you'll still get all of the other awesome stuff inside the course. So I don't want to pressure you to impulse buy. Think it over, but make sure that you do join before Monday so that you don't miss out, because again, this is only open until Monday. Cool. Okay, awesome. Thank you guys so much for joining me. It's been really a joy having you here. And yeah, once again, I hope that whether or not you choose to enroll, you feel like you have some great ideas to start enriching your dog's life and your own. And keep in touch. Feel free to send me a message if you have any questions that you forgot to ask and that pop into your head in a few minutes. Feel free to reach out. I'd be happy to answer them. And also feel free to tag me in your videos of maybe you took a picture during this course, or maybe you got a really good idea during this workshop and you try it out tomorrow and you film it. Feel free to tag me on Instagram and any enrichment opportunities that you and your dog find yourselves in. And yeah, once again, thank you guys so much for being here, taking time out of your Saturday to be here. It really means a lot. And most of all, it means a lot to your dogs. So thank you and all the best. I hope that you will all stay in touch and we get to work together soon. Bye, everybody.